this can only be chaotic. Did I steal it? Who are you gonna tell? Big old salmon. Ham zat sandwich. Tops off all the time. In the Drakkar close fight. That was a close fight. Snap 'em like twiglets. Smart little cookie. Stop it, fellas. I cannot cope. That is some bullshit. That's... Who's laughing now, internet? Let's pray for war. Depending on your MMA allegiances, this may well be the biggest night of our lives. So I wanted to do something a little bit different to my usual videos, and I'm already regretting the words that are about to come out of my mouth, but nothing new there. Right, bud? You come to watch the chaos? We're gonna watch the fights, of course. Hey! But I thought we could also play a UFC drinking game of my own device. No, I made it up myself. So I don't really drink. Like, it's not a hard and fast rule, but I have to train most days, so why would I do that to myself? So this can only be chaotic. And here are the boundaries for that chaos. Take a shot every time. A nut shot is recognised by the ref. DC says, paying dividends. A fighter swears in the post-fight interview. Someone says, great decision by the ref to step in there, or something of that ilk. A non-fight related celebrity in the crowd does a clenched fist pose for the cameras. Someone says pound for pound. Fighter does a backflip off the cage. And obviously, for every finish. I tuned in to the early prelims to watch Makhachev just finish Malcolm Gordon with an armbar. So, pinkies up. So with a little bit of further ado, I will see you for the main card, and we'll let the chaos unfold. I said main card, I didn't even mean main card. That's how stacked this card is. Belal Muhammad, Sean Brady. If styles make fights, then this fight is making us ask the question, who's the better striker between these two decorated grapplers? Their ground games are likely going to nullify one another, so it's really down to who can do the most damage, who can build up the most volume. These guys are obviously both problems in the division. We've got an 8-fight win streak versus an undefeated young gun. And this division is super interesting with Leon now at the head of the table. We need some clear contenders to start figuring their shit out so it can all move nicely upstream like a big old salmon. We all know this isn't the fight that Belal wanted. He said it himself. It was like he ordered a hamzat sandwich. A hamzat sandwich at the drive-thru, and when he got to the collection window, what was waiting for him was a Brady burger. He's still hungry. He's still gonna eat. Napkins at the ready. Now here are all the ways in which these two are the same bloody fighter. Similar height, similar reach, both are high-level wrestlers, both like to fight off the back foot, which they obviously both can't do, both use their jab well, both have good body and leg kicks, both have good movement. Brady is younger, which could give him a speed advantage, but we're clutching. The swag on Belal. Drink it up. Remember the worst fight name ever. So here's where I think the difference will be. In the power. I think Brady is more powerful, can inflict more damage. Everyone who trains with Brady says he's the strongest person they've ever known. And he just wears on you. But Belal has been training with Khabib, who is undoubtedly stronger. Brady looks huge. Also, those tattoos are, which is surprisingly rare in this game. You'd think, because they know they have to have their tops off all the time, they'd think a little bit harder about those body and leg kicks, for example. They both throw them well, but Brady has more snap in his and more power behind them. Only had one shot. Brady throws that left hook with bad intentions. It's just a fun kickboxing match so far. Belal is bringing so much pressure, but Brady's moving pretty well. Huge combinations by Belal. Oh, this is a fucking delight. And no shade to Belal's last 3 opponents. Although all high-level MMA athletes, they were all specialists. So Luque and Thompson were both striking specialists, so Belal could out-wrestle them. And Damian Maia is a jiu-jitsu specialist, so Belal was just better on the feet. He's not fought someone who's so evenly matched. And now that the wrestling is neutralised, we're getting to see what else he's got. Ooh, he snapped his head back with that left hook and just missed the front kick up the middle. But Belal is just not letting him breathe. We've seen Brady struggle in later rounds before, but that was in a fight where he hadn't had a full camp, so it could have been extenuating circumstances. Again, we have to clutch because it's just, who knows, but Belal's pressure might partly be to expose that weakness. Big shots from Belal. Yeah, keep him firing, mate! Bouncing off the cage like a yo-yo. Knockout from Belal Muhammad. That is not what I expected, but I'm glad we have an answer to that question. Belal said that when he fights for the title, he thinks it will be against Khamzat, but who knows if Khamzat will even be in the division at that time. But what we do know is he certainly got himself a step closer to that title shot with that freaking fight. Beautiful. I feel like I mentioned Mateus Gamrot 70% of my videos, and I'm getting bored of me talking about that Arman fight, but it's obviously had a big impact on my existence. I'm hoping we get to see another stellar performance from the Polish powerhouse. Am I allowed to say Polish power? Does Jan Blachowicz have, like, do I have to pay him royalties or something? These two are both big bonus fighters. Remember that comeback that Dariush pulled off in the Drakkar close fight? That was a close fight. And Gamrot has the fastest Kimura in UFC history against Jeremy Slippery Seal Stevens. It's not about you, buddy. Let's pray for war. I can see this one going the distance, and if it's as exciting as I hope, I really fucking want it to. Oh, scrambled eggs. That is some beautiful grappling at pace. Now Gamrot has slightly more KOs than Dariush and has power in his hands. And Beneil hasn't fought a power puncher in a while, so that's something to watch out for. Dariush has also been out of action for the longest time in his whole career, but it's Gamrot with the exploded ear. Poetry. Now, Dariush has the UFC caliber experience. Yes, Gamrot fought in KSW and was double champ, and some great fighters have come out of that organisation. But Dariush already had 18 fights in the UFC when Mateus Gamrot had his debut. And he has wins over some massive names: Ferguson, Dober. So the level of his experience is admittedly higher. Now Gamrot's cardio and relentless takedown attempts are the story currently. Dariush is trying to stay dominant though. This is such a close fight so far and so high level. Potential bit of trouble for Dariush is a recent injury that forced him that forced him out of his fight with Islam. And that changed the story of his career. Like, if he'd have won that fight, he'd probably be fighting for the belt tonight. Nice entry by Gamrot. Beautiful defense by Beneil. This is like watching two, like, professors, like, PhDs in violence. Big shot, but the knees are fresh and tasty, and Dariush is looking damn good. But to the mat on the buzzer. Dariush took this fight because he's really excited about the test. Like, he thinks Mateus is, like, the most skilled guy he could have been pitted against, and he wants that challenge. He says his management and his coaches wanted him to fight up, take someone higher ranked, but Dariush just wants to fight the best guys, and that is what we are seeing. This fight is going so fast because it's as fun as predicted. Like, the pace has slowed down a little bit, but oh, big right. That was nasty. If you just look at Beneil, he is locked in, he looks evolved, he looks like this is his time. Takedown defense is on point, the knees are beautiful, his striking is like a step ahead. That was a huge left. That was immense. He's just looking unbeatable. Unbeatable. Remember that unicorn that we were looking for in the Hamzat Diaz fight? You know, the what if? Could we land our eyes on it now? Sean O'Malley has all the star power to bend the brass to his will. Not the track record, not the proven skills. What he has is a big mouth, a bigger belief in himself, and an even bigger following on social media. Oh, and now he has a big opportunity. A chance to show what he's actually made of against one of the best in the division. I like watching him fight, of course. He's freaking electric. He's like an exotic dancer with all those moves that he pulls out. But he needs to show some maturity. He can't keep leaning towards style over substance. And if there was ever a time to grow up, Jan will not let you make a mistake. He's polished, strong, experienced. So I reckon Jan has the advantage in the clinch on the ground. O'Malley has already hinted that he thinks this will be a kickboxing match between two high-level strikers, so Jan would be wise to use his clinch and his grappling. Jan chop in the legs early, snap them like twiglets. Jan does like to take his time downloading data on his opponents. He can often give away the first few rounds, yada yada. All of his last 4 fights have had some kind of title on the line, and you can afford to take your time when there are 5 rounds to play with. But this fight, being 3 rounds, favours O'Malley's style over Jan's. Sean is using his speed, his creativity to get around Jan's high guard, and excellent defense across both stances, like we saw Corey do. Obviously, Sean's range is a huge advantage. He just needs to keep moving, keep the pace up, keep Jan at bay, and play for points. Oh, Jan shoots, smart move. Nope, sugar's free and making Jan pay for the inconvenience. Jab is sneaking through for bigs. It was a big old slam for Jan. Yes. I mean, I'm not biased. Sean is using the front kicks, but Jan is really building up on those leg kicks. Shot from Sugar. It was a good look, but he couldn't keep a good man down. Now, if Sean can rile Jan, well, we saw how well that worked for Aljo. When Jan fights mad, he makes mistakes. Those leg and body kicks. Jan is such a smart little cookie, using his strength and power, because O'Malley is really not that durable. But he needs to get busy with his big body punches. Sean rocked him. No, now what? Jan rocked him. My goodness. Come on, Jan, rain it down. Big ground strike. Watch those knees, Jan. Naughty boy. Big trip. This is such a good fight. Jan is an animal. He downloaded that data fast, and now he's just getting him time after time. O'Malley has recognised that he has more to gain than lose from this matchup. I think no one in the division wants to fight Jan, and O'Malley volunteered as tribute. He's focused on creating these magical moments that lead to superstardom, and he believed that this was the perfect fight, perfect time to do it. And for Jan, it might not seem to make any sense. Why would you fight down? But he just wants to fight, and he knows that the rankings aren't everything in the UFC. Sometimes you have to shut down the guy with the biggest mouth and the biggest name. And so far, for my money, he's shutting him down. Switch kick from Jan, sexy. Oh, and a knee up the middle from O'Malley. Shit, son. Banging, huge head kick. Stop it, fellas. I cannot cope. Blood is flowing from his face. Sean is definitely fighting a more mature game, but Jan is showing more looks, bigger moments across the fight. That was perfect timing on that takedown. What a fight! I've got Jan all 3 rounds, to be honest. I am mad. He did not win that. There was in no reality did he win that fight. And also, it had such big implications on the line. Like, what, he gets the title fight now? Even he, look at his fucking face. He knows he didn't win that fucking fight. That is some bullshit. That's some actual bullshit. I guess it's time to skin the snake, baby.
We're gonna skin the snake, baby! Skin the snake!
Look, I work in marketing, so anyone who can take a bad reputation and turn it into an entire brand is alright by me. And TJ is a tough matchup for Sterling. He's one of the most well-rounded fighters on the roster, one of the most experienced, and he has the advantage on the feet. But Aljo is very technical. He cuts a lot of weight, meaning he's big for the division, and he's powerful. And if he gets you back, you may as well just call it a freaking night. But is it going to be enough against such a complete fighter to be like the best in the world, or one of the best in the world at just one thing? Before he fought Cruz, TJ had 100% takedown defense, and he's gonna need it. Now TJ obviously should be looking to pile the pressure on and get Aljo on the back foot. All Aljo needs to do is get one takedown per round, and he can just control TJ from there like he did with Jan. Oh, no, something is wrong with TJ. Oh, is his shoulder? Oh, don't do me like this. Aljo said he's gonna surprise TJ by drilling his knuckles into his face, which made it not a surprise, but also we're seeing no surprise here as he's just taking him down and he's just smothering him. He also says something about spanking him, but I'm staying out of that, aren't we, mate? Big shots from Aljo. This may not last long at all. Aljo's just all over him like melted wax. Apparently being really good at one thing is good enough. Oh, look at his wobbly shoulder. If TJ can get this win, he can close out this whole drug-induced chapter of his life. He's hoping this fight will get him back to the summit and ready to face Cejudo. But poor Sterling. There's always a caveat, isn't there? People can never let him just enjoy his win. Look at him, he's dominating this fight, but the shoulder will be the story. He should just go for it though, Kimura it. Maybe it could pop out at the elbow and the shoulder. Pop! Out again. He just cannot keep himself together. I know how he feels. Big strikes again, and those elbows. Heart eyes, my one true love. Oh, slick moves, Funk Bastard. Are we getting crowd noise because he's swearing? I'm not even going to preamble the main fight because I did that last week. So you're just going to have to click the link on the end screen and go watch that. And let me enjoy my time here with Islam, alright? That video last week did really well because it's well balanced, but also because it caused quite a lot of commotion in the comments between the two camps, Chuck E. Cheese Olives and Islam beautiful man Makhachev. And there were a lot of people who were saying that they were going to watch this reaction video just to see me get upset. If y'all tuned in and watched this far just because you think it's gonna impact me personally that someone I don't know could potentially lose something that I'm not at all involved in. If you don't know me by now, you will not see a tear fall from this eye, sweetheart. But thanks for the view rate. Charlie's tattoos really are terrible, aren't they? I'm going to try and make sounds come out of my mouth. So Makhachev's bread and butter is obviously his Dagestani wrestling, greatest path to victory, takedown followed by a submission or a ground and pound, just one. But he is such a well-rounded fighter. With his hands, he mostly throws the left straight to the chin or body, often following feint with the jab, but he also mixes in his left hook like around the guard, and that big left is what we're seeing here. Obviously Oliveira stands really tall, steps lightly with his lead leg, pins his elbows to his ribs, hands to temples, lots of teeps to the midsection. Rather than like a step check, his leg lift could be a teep, so watch out for that, Islam. It could also be a step into a back leg teep, or it could be a step into a round kick. He just shows a lot and everything hurts. We're on the mat. We knew we'd get here one way or another, and the subs are already coming in strong from Charlie. But if Islam can defend the submission attempts, keep raining down shots here, this is how I see it. This is how I see it. Up in the clinch. Now, Oliveira is still super dangerous from this position. He'll look for his fave anaconda choke from the clinch, so Islam needs to watch out for that, as well as those knees. Makhachev is just so good in the clinch. The inside trip is a common weapon. Spin his opponent to the mat when he spreads his legs. And another thing he does is execute a foot sweep while his opponent attempts to land the knee, turning a corner and knocking their base foot out of position. Takedown was lightning fast from Islam, and he landed on top. Now this is what I was saying. Big shots from Islam. So much power in those elbows. Fighting from the southpaw stance, Makhachev's best striking weapon is very obviously his left leg. He's able to throw those strong left kicks really quickly, and he also mixes up with like stabbing front kicks with the left as well. Back in the clinch, Islam has the control. Double unders. Both landed on the feet. In fact, Islam seems to be landing more knocked down from a mat. Does he get the arm triangle? That's... Who's laughing now, internet? Who's confused now, internet? What the fuck did I say? Sorry, I'm classy. Pound for pound, that's a shot. Oh god, he just said pound for pound 3 times. I'm gonna make this outro quick because like, subscribe, let me know in the comments who you think is next to challenge for the bantamweight title. Ugh, it's probably gonna be Sugar, isn't it? And the lightweight title. That short guy stands no chance, right? I now have to go edit this nonsense, so pray for me, and I'll see you next week when we're gonna be watching and chatting about Arnold Allen, Calvin Kattar. Bob your predictions for that one in the comments. Comment. Love me. And Instagram. It's fun. I don't know. UFC later.